Tonight, we'll report on a man murdered near Moses Lake, and Soap Lake may have issues with its 2 water reservoirs. What's happening in sports, Bob?
High school football and plenty of it as teams from around the basin kick off the 2015 season. Here's a quick glance at our Weather Center forecast.
I'm meteorologist Mike Sines. High pressure still continues to dominate our region. Have we set a record yet as far as temperatures go, and just how high will they get? I'll let you know coming up.
I'm Amber Jinks, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
A Spokane man was shot and killed Friday night at an apartment complex near Moses Lake. Margarito Leyva, a 26-year-old Moses Lake man, is accused of shooting 38-year-old Juan Michael Gonzalez Jr. at an apartment on Grape Drive Northeast. According to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, Gonzalez was taken to Samaritan Hospital with a gunshot wound to the chest. He was later flown to Providence Sacred Heart Medical Center in Spokane, where he died Saturday morning. Leyva was reportedly arrested Sunday night at a motel in Pasco and was taken to Grant County Jail for murder in the 1st degree. Leyva is a convicted felon and was considered armed and dangerous. A $500 reward was offered for information leading to his arrest. Students entering middle school in Ephrata were greeted with a celebration recently designed to encourage school spirit and set expectations for the school year. Reporter Devin Higgins has a story.
Ephrata Middle School officially welcomed the newest class of 7th graders with an introductory assembly on Friday. Ephrata High School's cheerleaders and Tigerette Stands teams were on hand as part of the celebration, spearheaded by Principal Kenneth Murray. Murray also used the time to talk to his students about setting expectations and goals for the year, saying it was something he learned back when he was an Ephrata Middle School student himself.
Well, about 3 years ago, I came in as the principal here at the middle school after growing up here. And one of the things I really appreciated as a student here was that tone of high expectations and high accountability. And so work with staff and students to create kind of a vision and a direction where we're going to really push kids to that next level. And when we have that welcome back assembly, it's all about really setting that tone and helping kids understand that. And then at the same time trying to build a little school spirit. So we have a great opportunity to have both our high school cheerleaders and dancers here with us. And it's just a great way to set the tone.
At Ephrata Middle School, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
2 Grant County residents are accusing their cousin of murdering their father in Belize. An attorney representing Jennifer Ralston filed a civil lawsuit in Grant County Superior Court for wrongful death by murder against Grant County resident Tracy Nessel. Ralston was joined by her brother Caleb McNamara in the report accusing Nessel of being responsible for killing 64-year-old Timothy McNamara. The lawsuit claims 44-year-old Nessel shot and killed the victim on December 25, 2014 at a home in Belize. Nessel and the victim reportedly began a romantic relationship in 2012 after McNamara was divorced. Timothy McNamara reportedly gave 3 properties to Nessel, including a family farm near Soap Lake. Nessel is accused of enticing him to purchase property in Belize. The 2 moved to Belize and reportedly got into an argument. Nessel is accused of following him and shooting him in the back of the head. An Ephrata businessman wants to build up to 40,000 square feet of storage units in Soap Lake. Ron Yenny is proposing to build the units on the north side of State Route 28. Yenny wants to build 8,000 square feet of the business by fall. The first phase includes a mix of storage options, including a small personal units and other large units for boats and recreational vehicles. The spaces for recreational vehicles allows visitors to save money and avoid moving their recreational vehicles and boats from distant locations. Soap Lake City Council approved giving up the right to use 60 feet of the property. The council members allowed Yenny to access to city water and sewer service for the business. The council denied Yenny's request to construct a billboard on the property. Councilman John Glasgow opposed amending the city sign ordinance to allow billboards because the change would affect the look of Soap Lake. He said he did not want a precedent set. Now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at primetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be back right after this.
My name is Kat Sanderson, Managing Broker for Pillar Rock Realty Group. We love the Columbia Basin because it's our home, and we want to give back to our community by kicking off our Pay It Forward campaign. If you buy or list with us, we will donate 1% of our total proceeds to a local charity of your choice and in your name. Call us today at 754-4444 or visit pillarrockrealty.com because we are your local real estate experts.
What's white and yellow and red all over? If you said the local book telephone directory, the one with the purple sunset on the cover, then you're right. In print and online at statewideyp.com, it features up-to-date local maps, community information, and a calendar of events. With a restaurant dining guide with full local menus and a reverse directory, you're sure to find the number you're looking for. It's the best way to get the information you need. Pick up a copy of the local book today or visit statewideyp.com.
Now for your iFIBER 1 News Weather Center forecast.
This weather segment's brought to you by Barry Motors, one great place to buy and service a car. I'm meteorologist Mike Science with a look at your weather headlines. Today we're going to see a change in the weather pattern that's already taking place that's going to cause sunny and drier conditions and then a gradual increase in temperatures, especially by the time the weekend rolls around. Almanac for us here in Ephrata, we saw a low this morning reporting of 48. Nothing in the way of precip, and the sun will set for us this evening right around 7:25. Our friends in Moses Lake saw a low almost similar, exactly similar, a low of 48 degrees. Nothing in the way of precip to talk about, and the sun will set just 1 minute earlier right around 7:25. Taking a look at our weather history for Moses Lake, they saw a record high set back in 1993 of 93 degrees. Record low set back in 1962 of 44 degrees. Right now, when you step outside your door, it is 79 degrees. Partly cloudy skies are going to continue, and this will kind of be the similar weather pattern that we'll see today, entering in tomorrow, and the next day as well. The only difference is the temperature is going to continue to rise each day as we continue to see high pressure dominating our region here. Few scattered showers and storms are going to continue up towards into Canada. Very isolated in nature. Nothing in the way to worry about. If you're traveling up in that region, just take an umbrella with you. But we're going to continue to see high pressure in control. That means we're going to continue to see sunny skies and an increase in temperatures. This is going to slowly make its way out towards the east. As it does so, even towards Friday, we're going to see it just kind of park itself there and then expand a little bit, especially as we get into the weekend. That's why temperatures are going to continue to stay on the rise. Here's a look at your forecast for tomorrow. Yakima, we're going to see sunny skies, 89. Coastal regions into the lower 70s and upper 60s. And our inland North Base region, we're going to see as well into the upper 70s. As we continue to take a closer look here into the Columbia Basin, Ephrata 85, Moses Lake 83. Across the board, we're really going to see 80s and sunny skies all across the region. Partly cloudy skies, nothing in the way of rain to talk about because we have that high pressure in control that's going to provide a cap on the atmosphere. Taking a look at your 7-day outlook, I'll show you that warm-up we were talking about. Tomorrow, 85, and then as we head into Friday and Saturday, temperatures are really going to continue to keep rising. 94 for the high on Saturday, and then Sunday, 89 degrees. Partly cloudy skies, and we're going to see lows generally 53 starting off for tomorrow, 55 for Thursday, and then as we look Saturday, 59 degrees. Warmer skies and sunnier conditions, so definitely take advantage of this weekend, especially Friday into Saturday. That's your latest weather forecast.
Paying your Grant PUD bill with ePay is like getting free cuts in line. You pay when you want, how you want. Get free cuts in line with Grant PUD ePay. Visit grantpud.org.
Ah, dude, I'm just in the theater. It's totally cool.
Ah.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you may find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
But you're not even covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
Or how you may be covered for this, but not for something like this. Talk to farmers and see what gaps could be hiding in your coverage.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Moses Lake dropped a close 21-17 game at South Ridge to open the 2015 season. Isaiah Thomas silenced the Suns' crowd when he returned the opening kick 98 yards for a score. South Ridge answered back with a 13-yard TD pass from Mason Martin to tight end Cody Sturdivant on its opening possession. The Suns then capitalized on a Chiefs turnover to go up top 14-7. A short Thomas scamper tied at 14-all. Tanner Hassey connected on a 36-yard field goal with 46 seconds remaining in the half to put Moses Lake up 17-14. Samuel Core's 18-yard run midway through the third quarter put the Suns up top for good. Moses Lake hosts Lewis and Clark Friday night at Lions Field. Well, it was all royal when the Knights traveled to Ephrata to take on the Tigers. The boys in white and gold jumped out to an early 7-0 lead in the first quarter with an impressive drive led by quarterback Caden Jenks. Royals scored 3 more touchdowns in the second quarter, increasing their lead to 28-0. In the second half, it was more of the same for Royal. The Knights put up 10 in the third quarter, followed by a touchdown in the fourth to take the contest 45-0. Jenks finished 16 of 27 for 232 yards and 3 touchdowns. Royal running back Joe Lang rushed for 130 yards on 11 carries. Sam Christensen was the deep threat for the Knights, catching 5 balls for 77 yards. Royal is on the road Friday at Natchez Valley. Ephrata travels to Othello. The Warden Cougars kicked off the season with a lopsided 50-6 win over Tonasket under first-year head coach Robert Orodondo. The game was never in doubt as the Cougars led 20-0 at the end of the first quarter and were up 44-0 at intermission. Well, Quincy held off a last-second scoring attempt to beat Cascade at home 15-9. This one was a brutal slugfest, according to Coach Stephen Wallace. A botched Kodiak punt resulted in a safety to give the Jacks an early lead. The Jacks then returned to favor after a ball slipped through their punter's hands and was scooped up for the go-ahead score. Ulysses Ramirez's 5-yard run sent Quincy to the locker room up 8-6 at the half. Cascade regained the lead 9-8 on a late field goal in the fourth quarter. Caden Murphy drove the Jacks 88 yards for the go-ahead score with 51 ticks left on the clock. The Kodiaks mounted one last drive, but their quarterback was stopped on a bootleg at the Quincy 2-yard line on the last play of the game. Well, it was a wild game of 8-man football between Almira Cooley Heartline and Liberty Christian that produced 108 points. Unfortunately, it was the Warriors coming up on the short end of the 66-42 score. John Lesser was a one-man show for the Patriots, rushing for 394 yards and 4 TDs, and throwing for 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. Quarterback Dallas Isaac led the charge for ACH, throwing for 3 scores and running for 2 more. The Lady Vikings got off the snide with a back-to-back wins over Columbia Basin and Wenatchee Valley at the Spokane Invite over the weekend. Big Ben turned back the Hawks in 4 sets in Game 1 Saturday. The Lady Vikings got past the Knights in 3 sets in Game 2. It was a big win over Wenatchee as the team comes to town tomorrow night for the opening match of the regular season. Ohio State's former starting quarterback Braxton Miller converted to the receiver position this season. He made 2 impactful plays in the game against Virginia Tech Monday night. His 51-yard run for a score was CNN's play of the day.
Miller in the shotgun. Gets free on the edge. Braxton Miller is loose. Spin move. Miller heading for the end. zone. You think he's made an impact in his first game at H-back? Wow.
Aaron, I have a feeling.
I'll give you credit. You said number one tonight.
With the ball in his hands, whether it was receiving or just getting out on the edge, I just, 2 years ago, he was, at times.
We'll be back after this short break.
You don't have to drive to Seattle for exceptional cancer care. Confluence Health's cancer program delivers world-class care close to home. We have a highly experienced oncology team in a state-of-the-art facility, and we're a member of the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance, which gives our patients access to world-renowned therapies developed at Fred Hutchinson, the University of Washington Medicine, and Seattle Children's. Together with the SCCA, we're delivering world-class cancer care close to home.
Our spotlight story tonight is about a new business in Soap Lake catering to people who enjoy quilting. Reporter Jeff Chu has the story.
Moving the tables however they...
Soap Lake's newest business is a luxury retreat center for quilters. Cindy Rang, who established the Fabric Patch Shop in Ephrata in 1999, remodeled the former apartment complex at State Route 17 and First Avenue Northeast in Soap Lake. She did it with the help of her husband and son. The Fabric Patch has a number of colorful, intricately designed quilts hanging on its walls, and Rang says some might even make their way over to the retreat house in Soap Lake.
I think the shop had only been open for a couple years, and we started offering retreats. I would find a location and then gather together 10 or 12 women, and we would go there. We bought a house in Ephrata, and it was a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and went ahead and went through all of that, got that all set up, and did that for a year in Ephrata.
Rang, a retired nurse practitioner who has been quilting since she was 8, says the retreat house is already booked for fall and spring. She said 23 groups are booked. Quilting's growing popularity is much of the reason why Rang plans to expand to add a conference center in space now used as the property's workshop. Rang plans it to be large enough for 150 people for quilting conferences and workshops. Rang, whose original retreat house was in Ephrata, says she relocated the inn to Soap Lake because of rental house rules in Ephrata. She says the city of Ephrata cracked down on Airbnb-type rentals. That meant she would not be allowed to rent for less than 30 days unless the center became a bed and breakfast inn or a hotel or motel.
Basically, the way it was described was it was that Airbnb craze. They were going to enforce that ordinance that it had to be a month-to-month tenancy. And if it was not a month-to-month tenancy, you had to be a bed and breakfast or a hotel motel.
Rang says the only way she could meet the requirement was to buy a commercial property, which was not affordable. Soap Lake Mayor Raymond Gravel, in his capacity as a real estate agent, showed Rang the landscape property with a view of the lake and Smokeyam Park. That led to the new venture. The facility has room for groups of up to 14 and has decorated rooms and bathrooms much like a bed and breakfast inn. She described the retreat house's clientele who can expect to be pampered while they use the house and its many quilting tables.
What happens on the retreat venue is that either a group of women will get together that are friends, maybe members of a guild, maybe sisters that all quilt and craft together, and they come in and they rent the whole place.
As quilting grows in popularity, Rang says the quilting retreat market is expanding as well. Rang says women who quilt are much like men who seek weekend recreation.
We say that it's sort of like a hunting weekend that the guys have, maybe they catch something, maybe they don't, but they have a good time. So same thing with us.
I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
We'll be right back after this.
Quincy Foods, LLC, a subsidiary of Norpac Foods, is seeking motivated individuals to fill the positions of general laborer for their corn harvest season. They have full-time seasonal openings, must be 18 years old and older, willing to work swing shift. Great people to work for in a challenging food processing environment. Apply at 222 Columbia Way in Quincy between 8 and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, or online through WorkSource. Quincy Foods is an equal opportunity employer.
At Moses Lake Community Health Center, we have had the privilege to serve the local communities since 1978.
What I like about working at this clinic more than any other clinic that I've worked at is the patient care. With the patient care team that we've assembled, it allows us to take care of as many facets of the patient and their family's needs.
Please take the opportunity to experience the high-quality care provided at our clinics.
Welcome back. 5 Grant County residents, including 2 children, were injured in a collision with a semi Thursday afternoon. Michael Goyne, a 42-year-old Moses Lake man, was driving a 1990 Mercury Sable east on Interstate 82 about 17 miles south of Ellensburg when a semi-truck driver tried to make a U-turn in the median in front of the Mercury. The car became wedged under the semi-truck trailer. Goyne and one of his passengers, 63-year-old George resident, were taken to Kittitas Valley Health Care Center. 3 other Moses Lake residents, a 20-year-old man, a 13-year-old boy, and a 10-year-old girl, were taken to Yakima Valley Memorial Hospital. The driver of the semi-truck, Mark Bailey, a 58-year-old Newport man, was not injured. The State Patrol issued Bailey a ticket for reckless driving. A man allegedly slammed a woman's head against the ground and the side of a home in Moses Lake. Robert Guzman, a 50-year-old Moses Lake man, reportedly grabbed a woman by her hair outside of a Winona Street home and forced her head into the ground and the side of the house. When the victim ran into the home, Guzman reportedly followed her inside and pushed her into a wall. The woman was holding a 2-year-old boy when she was pushed, and the boy hit his head. Guzman was arrested by Moses Lake police for assault, domestic violence, possession of methamphetamine, obstruction of justice, and a warrant for assault. Soap Lake's 2 steel water reservoirs are corroding, according to a consultant. A Atlantic-based utility service group evaluated the city's 2 reservoirs. A company representative said the top and inside of the eastern tank are rusting. He recommended power washing the tank, painting the exterior, and sandblasted and repainting the interior. The ladder and top vent should be replaced and interior beams repaired. The western reservoir has at least 1 rubber seal leaking water with rust stains visible on the tank's exterior. The tank's exterior should be sandblasted and repainted with the rubber seals replaced on the interior to prevent leaks. The council asked for a maintenance proposal and cost analysis. The company most recently painted a Quincy water tower, has an ongoing maintenance contract with Othello. In Northwest news, a Washington family says a squatter not only moved into their home, but he started selling off their belongings on the internet. Coma's Carol Koshnik has more on the video that could help solve the case.
Along this quiet cul-de-sac on Puyallup South Hill,
I said, how could this be happening to me?
a mysterious crime that's left a local family stunned and angry.
This is my house. You know, somebody's in my house and not supposed to be. And again, I was furious. When I first came in...
Last Tuesday, Ed Sauer walked through his front door the same way he has for 25 years. But what he discovered on the other side is hard to believe.
And he said, well, I'm here for the microwave. I said, well, no, you're not. This is my house. I'm not selling anything. So I walked around the corner, and I saw that my appliances were gone and the cabinets and stuff were open, and so I immediately knew what had happened.
Sauer says this man captured on a neighbor's surveillance camera broke into his home, stayed for days, then listed the family's pricey household items and appliances for sale on the internet.
You know, the washer and dryer used to be there.
So did a brand new stove and refrigerator. The thief even sold a mattress and much more, losses totaling thousands of dollars.
The money is not the issue. It's the violation. The fact that somebody would come in and take over like that and just blatantly live in my house and have a yard sale, you know, right out of my front door.
Sauer's family recently moved to Olympia.
And he took some blankets and pillows and made himself at home.
And his father had been staying in the house just days before the uninvited crook moved in.
You know, I shudder to think that if he was here and they broke in and did something, you know, I mean, he's 84 years old.
Tonight, Sauer is happy his family is safe. He says he hopes the man responsible will be found and held accountable for such a bizarre crime.
That's going to do it for us here at iFIBER 1 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.